Dead Cells is dead. Well, it's not dead at all, but it is coming to an end, and although it might feel abrupt for some, it is a game that began in 2017, so after 8 years, 35 updates, 5 major DLCs, 11 million copies sold, and countless awards, using the word abrupt seems like a bit of a misnomer. Let's take a look at the Dead Cells situation with Motion Twin and Evil Empire, look at where it began, where it is now, and why it might be good news for everyone involved. Before diving in, I just want to take a quick second to talk about our 2024 goals as an outlet. There are plenty of little goals, but our main goal is to hit 15,000 subs, and you can help with that. If you enjoy what we're doing, consider subscribing, liking the video, or sharing with a friend that you think might enjoy this. Any or all of these is going to make a big difference in the algorithm. If you're unfamiliar, we're trying to cultivate a positive environment without toxicity, which is evident in our content that always takes a glass half full approach. Motion Twin was founded in 2001, and after making more than 150 web games with middling success at best, Motion Twin finally attempted a PC game with Dead Cells, which has since gone on to sell over 11 million copies. Dead Cells released into early access in 2017 and had a full release in 2018. The success of Dead Cells caught everyone by surprise, including Motion Twin. Motion Twin was a studio that liked being a co-op, meaning that everyone at the studio had an equal say. In the midst of the Dead Cells success, a number of people from the external marketing team and an internal programmer of Dead Cells started their own company, Evil Empire. With Dead Cells becoming a smash hit, Motion Twin was left with a few options in 2019. First, stop supporting Dead Cells, as the studio had been intensely working on it for 4 years and wanted to work on a new project. Second, continue supporting Dead Cells, which would require Motion Twin to grow beyond 10 people, which the studio didn't want to do as they wanted to keep the studio as a co-op with everyone having an equal say. 3. Collaborate with Evil Empire that would allow Dead Cells to have new content and continue to flourish. Looking at the list of options, the choice is simple: entrust Evil Empire to keep supporting the game, which they did remarkably. Dead Cells received 35 major updates and 5 DLCs, and it is safe to say that without Evil Empire, Dead Cells would never have become the success that it was. Evil Empire quickly grew to around 70 people and helped Dead Cells become one of the greatest indie games of all time. At the time that Evil Empire took over as the caretakers for Dead Cells, Motion Twin began work on their next game that would push the limits and comfort of the studio with what we now know is Windblown. On February 9, 2024, Motion Twin posted an update for the future of Dead Cells, and that after update 35, there would be no future updates on a game that released in 2017. On the Dead Cells Steam page, Motion Twin said, "Update 35 for Dead Cells marks the end of our creative journey on the game. After an incredible 5-year collaboration in bringing additional content to Dead Cells live ops, Evil Empire will be pursuing new adventures." Motion Twin did previously state in a 2023 press release that Dead Cells would see meaningful updates until 2025, but they did say that it was a mistake to say it as early as they did. However, the only official roadmap for Dead Cells had content until the end of 2023. Motion Twin did also state that in late September 2023, there was an early prototype for a new DLC that they put an end to because they felt that it didn't fit into the mold of the original game. On March 12, 2024, Evil Empire posted on their social media, after nearly 5 years of service, 4 DLCs, 18 updates, some epic crossovers, Evil Empire will no longer be working on Dead Cells. The good news is that our Dead Cells team have been unleashed to pump their talent into our secret projects, and we'll be revealing what those crazy minds have been coming up with very soon. Time to start a new game or two. Looking at the whole situation, it seems pretty black and white, except for the input from former Motion Twin employee number 3, Sebastian Bernard, who left to form his own studio in 2019, Deep Night Games. Sebastian thinks that the whole thing is just marketing speak and that there were ulterior motives, but I think there are too many conversations and deals that happen behind closed doors that we just aren't privy to. But if this is the case, it will likely be for the benefit of Evil Empire in the long run. There were some reports that Evil Empire had more plans for Dead Cells in 2024 and even into 2025, but that the partnership was ended abruptly. We only have one side of the story, and while it does seem harsh, there are a lot of aspects of this deal that we just don't know about, including financials, which do make all the difference. Dead Cells might have sold over 11 million copies, with a large percentage of those being thanks to Evil Empire, who continued to carry the torch and expand the series. But after those sales, how much does Motion Twin actually see when Evil Empire takes their cut to pay 70 employees and also make a profit? How much are Evil Empire paying to use the IP? These are questions that we don't know the answers to. 11 million copies is a lot of sales, but how many of those people are buying in every new update? It could have been a diminishing audience with a diminishing return, and it could have gotten to the point that keeping Dead Cells going wasn't worth the trouble for Motion Twin. It's unknown, and although it's unfortunate that it's come to an end somewhat abruptly, there is no denying that Dead Cells got more post-launch support than 90% of the games available. To put this into perspective how long Dead Cells has been supported, the game released into early access the same year that the Nintendo Switch released. Despite how things all shook out, the situation feels reminiscent of Playdead. After Inside shipped, multiple core members of Playdead departed, including multiple leadership roles. Dino Patti, one of the co-founders, left and helped form Jumpship, whose first game came out in 2022. Jeppe Carlsen, lead gameplay designer on Limbo and Inside, left to found Geometric Interactive, and their first game, Cocoon, released in 2023 to overwhelming critical acclaim. Finally, that leaves Playdead, who are still being led by co-founder Arndt Jensen on a new 3D project that looks incredible. The thing to take away from this is that even though there was clearly some falling outs involved, the situation worked out pretty well for everyone involved as they found better opportunities for themselves. It also worked out quite well for gamers who have now been treated with more games that at the core feature some of that same Playdead DNA. The same thing will hopefully happen with Motion Twin and Evil Empire. We already know what Motion Twin is working on with Windblown, which we called our most anticipated roguelike of 2024, and Evil Empire have already hinted at the studio working on 2 unannounced games. Evil Empire were founded in 2019 and have only been known for their work on Dead Cells. There is obviously a large part of the studio that wants to prove what it's capable of, create their own identity, and the 2 unannounced games give the studio a chance to show the world what they can do. There has been some reporting that Evil Empire has been working on a Prince of Persia roguelike, which makes a lot of sense. The team has a strong experience working on roguelikes as they have been creating and updating one of the best ever for the past 5 years. They're also located in France, specifically Bordeaux, and that is only about a 4 or 5 hour drive from Montpellier, and this is the home for the Ubisoft studio that was in charge of Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and this all seems just a bit too coincidental. Dead Cells had a great run, from something that started in 2017 in early access and has been supported very strongly with meaningful updates often. It's safe to say that it was treated fairly. As Motion Twin said in their statement, it's crucial not to overextend and risk diminishing the unique charm that makes Dead Cells special to us all. How many bands, movies, TV series, or even game franchises that you loved went on for too long that eventually just diminished the value of the original? I can think of countless examples. Most of the updates were also free for Dead Cells owners, with the exception of the very large annual ones, and I'm sure they have metrics that show diminishing returns from one DLC to the next. It might be a little bumpy at first for the 2 studios, but this way seems like a better option in the long run for both. Evil Empire can now work on new IP to create a name for themselves, and leaving the Dead Cells franchise alone, this allows Motion Twin to make a return to the series in the future if the time is right. Until next time, remember to be nice to your fellow gamer, but more importantly, be nice to your fellow human.